What's up? Welcome back to another In the Den podcast. Guys, we are here. Another episode. I think, as a matter of fact, we're on our fourth episode. I think we are. But you know what, guys? It doesn't even matter because it's a mess going on. And I'm the only one that's stuck between this. And look who I'm stuck between, y'all. Look who I'm stuck between. Look who I'm stuck between on the topic that we're talking about, as a matter of fact. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. But before we get into it, guys, make sure don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this podcast channel. And make sure you hit that notification so when we post new videos, you will be the first to get notified. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves and go ahead and get this thing started. It's up to y'all.
Hey. It's your girl Shantina. Y'all know what I really wanted to do, like right when we was getting ready to get on here. Did y'all used to watch wrestling back in the day?
Yeah.
Y'all watch
Yeah.
I
wrestling?
did with my grandma.
You did? Like my favorite group was
Yes.
the New Age Outlaws, and I like learned their whole thing. That's what popped in my
Oh,
head. But we gonna digress. But yeah. I was ready to roll into with the tag team champions of the world. But come on, we gonna go. We gotta go. Come on, Rose. What you got?
and I don't know.
Listen, hello. This is Rose. I really want to sleep tonight, but to be on with you guys, I got on. I made it happen, but I wanted to sleep.
Oh
We
man, hey, you
appreciate
ain't the
that.
only
You make
one.
us
Hey,
feel special.
we. I don't feel special. It is what it is, man. How about that? Hey, hey, but check this out, y'all. No, we appreciate you being on here, man, as well as Chantil and myself. You know, it's been going through, like I said, this weather has been just really beating everybody down with a lot of sinus
Yes.
problems and a lot of things going on with people. And that's even myself. You guys excuse me if I sound kind of sniffy or if you hear me sniffing here and there, man. um I mean, it's really been, tearing me up. And I don't know if you guys are dealing with the same issue, but it's really hitting me and my kids. I hadn't hit my wife yet, but it's really taking its toll, and it's miserable. It's really
what's
miserable.
what's
I
Have
think
you?
it's the
sniffing?
change of the weather. I
It's
think
got
it's
to
the
be.
change of the weather too.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's hitting hard. What'd you say,
But what's
Chantia?
sniffy? What's sniffy?
I'm talking about when you go to sniffing and going on, sniffing and going on, man.
I
Trying
just
to
want
keep
to make sure I stay up to date on these new terminologies and stuff.
you. What you mean stay up to
Get
date?
us,
I'm older than you, and you talking about stay up to date, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I,
stay
you
up to date.
no, you know what? I think that was an indirect shade shot. You trying to say that was an old flame? You talking about that old?
Just maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit.
I think I think that's what you was trying to do. You trying to throw some old school shots on that. That's all right. I take
You know,
I take.
I ain't never heard no man say, "Yo, I'm just feeling a little sniffy."
Yeah, just sniffing. No. I said if you hear. I said if you excuse me if you
Mhm.
hear a little sniffing, a little
Uh-huh.
sniffing. I ain't said feeling a little sniffing. I said if you
We
hear
gonna
some
rewind it.
sniffing.
We gonna rewind.
Yeah,
We gonna
yeah,
rewind.
yeah. You want to rewind it right now? We flag on the
No,
player
we
review.
do it like we do it. Like we got a hot topic for tonight. We do it like
Hey, got a hot topic. So, guys, we talking about baby mama issues and baby daddy issues. Um, I'm a baby daddy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a baby dad. I'm quite sure y'all baby mamas.
no, I'm not.
So yes, y'all are.
I'm
Y'all
not a
baby
baby
mamas.
mama. I'm not a baby
All right,
mama.
We're mothers. We're
yeah, look.
mothers. Like you a
Uh, uh,
father.
uh.
You
You know what? We getting started
I was
already.
married.
Here we
I
go.
was married.
it's about to be some drama
I was.
already.
You
I'm
know
an
what?
ex-wife. I'm not a
Okay,
baby mama. I'm an
but but
ex-wife.
but
Okay.
you still the baby's mama though, right?
Mm-mm.
She's the baby's mother.
I'm the mo-
Okay.
yes.
eh, You know what? See
I'm the
that?
mother
Well,
of the
what?
children.
So
A
okay.
mama don't do her job. A
Hold
mother
on.
does her job,
Okay, now hold
just
on. I
like
might.
you, a father.
That's right. But you know what
You
though?
better get somebody in here to help you because
You
you're not
better
gonna
you
make it
better
tonight.
you better make sure that you guys clear yourself up. So Shantia, break down what a baby mama is in your view. What is a baby mama, Shantia?
A baby mama is someone who had a child with a gentleman outside of wedlock.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what is okay? Do you think that a baby mama is any different than a baby mother?
I do. I do.
Okay,
Mhm,
explain that
mhm,
for
mhm,
us.
mhm. My perception is a baby mother. She is training her children the way they should go. She's rearing them the right way. Baby mama is, she concerned about the bag and the newest hottest shoes and making sure she buy that expensive purse and all of that versus focused on her home life and her kids and
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
Okay.
I
That's
Well,
think
it.
that's the
baby
difference.
mama can do the same thing. I'm just saying.
Um,
So,
I think we
but you
use
know
that
what? Hold on.
terminology to
You
be
know what? Hold that,
respectful.
Rosa. Rosa, you
Mm.
tell me what's your definition of a baby mama and the difference between a baby mama and baby mother is.
A baby mother, a
Y'all
mother
killing
is
yourself.
gonna do her. What you say?
Y'all killing yourself.
Yeah,
Y'all setting
lean
yourself
in
up.
though. What you
No,
say? We ain't setting it
no.
up for nothing. We ain't setting it up for nothing.
I just don't want no one calling me a baby mama because I'm not a baby mama. I'm a
Mm,
mother. I take care of my kids. I do my job. I do what I'm supposed to do. A baby mother stays up all night and she don't try to put the kids off on the grandparents all the time. Um, Baby mamas loves to party. They're pretty much running behind the baby daddies, which uh, baby mothers don't have time for. They have duties, so they get them done. Baby mamas,
mm.
what else can I say?
Oh boy.
Um, yeah, it's
Read it together,
real.
Rosa.
Like
It's a
they're
difference.
always trying to find a babysitter. Baby mamas are always trying to find a babysitter to go out to the club and hang out
Mhm.
with friends. Like they're not really concerned. They love their kids. Don't get me wrong. They love the kids, but they're not too much concerned of focusing strictly on the kids. Like they're trying to live their best life.
Yeah,
Trying to live the best life.
yeah,
So
that's
Yes,
right.
do you honestly think that are you guys honestly saying that a baby mama does not take care of her responsibility?
exactly.
Hmm. Interesting.
A real mother do not even want to be called a baby mama.
No,
Okay.
we don't. And it's you breaking it down to just you can't break it down to just terminology. So
Mm-hmm.
um if we breaking it down to just terminology, that's going to be our perception.
Okay.
A baby mother, she's putting in that hard work. Her focus is her children. She don't give two pieces of cheese if she have a man. She want her children to be taken care of
Exactly.
before she is taken care of, before a man is taken care of. She's gonna make sure her household is
Right.
taken care of. If that means she
That's
go
right.
hungry and her kids eat, then that's what it is.
Right. Right. Right.
The baby mama is associated with that female who's still trying to, like Rosa said, live her best life. She's still outside. She's
Mm-hmm.
still
Right.
chasing a man or trying to find somebody to love her instead of realizing all the love she got in her face with her
Right.
children.
Right. Right. You know what? And I honestly think too that's one of society issues is that we label everything with one word instead of really
Mm-hmm.
calling it like it is,
Mm-hmm.
because we put everybody in the same category. And and that is a big difference. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, because you have just like, you know, baby father, baby daddies, or whatever. I don't want to be listed as, you know, that's my baby daddy, you know,
Mhm.
because see, to me, it's an insult. You know, it's somewhat like an insult. And you know, you have people, you know, you have, you know, your females that joke about it. They do joke,
Mhm.
you know, so that's just my baby dad. That's my baby daddy, which is fun. You got to, you know, you can have fun with it, but at the same time, you even have though
Mhm.
to kind of deal with what you guys talking about. You can still have baby mamas and baby fathers, baby daddies that will do their do their job, because see, I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of times they're not allowed to do their full diligence by being the father or the mother. Okay, because and that's just the way I feel, because and that's the reason why a lot of them say that's my baby dad or that's my baby mama, but still they're doing what it takes to take care of that child. I mean, they're doing what it takes to take care of that child.
Elaborate on what you mean. They don't.
Meaning
They're not
basically,
able
say for
to.
instance, with a kid, say for instance, with a, I'll say the father, just speaking from a, you know, father point, a man point.
Mhm.
A lot of times, if the child is going 90% of the time is going to be with the mom anyway. Okay.
Mhm.
If they're not together. So the man is put in a position where he is to help, you know, take care of the child. Okay.
Mhm.
To maintain the, you know, the finances, to maintain uh the the responsibility of disciplinary with the child and everything like that. But a woman sometimes could put a man, you know, in a bad position when he's trying to be a father by not allowing him to be a father. And when she don't want him to see the child, all because she's mad at him. She don't want him to talk to the child because she's mad at him. And so, but yet he take care of the child financially.
So look, I'm gonna get you on that one because look, that is a pet peeve of mine. Okay, pet peeve of mine.
What's
Um,
pet peeve?
if you fathered that child, if y'all didn't come up, if your name is on that birth certificate, if she is blocking you from seeing your child, why aren't you fighting to see that child? You can go to the court and ask for visitation, just like the
Mm-hmm.
woman can go and file for child support. And if the woman files for child support, there is a formal visitation order put in place, and it's
Absolutely.
his responsibility to fight for that visitation order to be
Absolutely.
upheld. He can easily
Yeah,
have those papers with him when she tries to do that, to call the police over there, and they will make. I've seen this done before about a man who was passionate. You're gonna let me see my child, and he had his orders, and she had to let him get his child for that weekend because that was the court order.
Right, right.
So it's up to the man to fight for it, and a lot of men use that as an excuse not to be involved in their children's life,
that's right.
But
and
see, I
I don't like
disagree.
that.
I disagree. A woman can make a man's life miserable, even if he do that.
She can.
She can make his life miserable because even when it comes to communication,
Hmm.
okay, you can be seeing your child, but still being blamed for situations that you failed to communicate about. Okay,
Hmm.
if the mother choose not, I don't care what the court say. Okay, say for instance you got court papers, you got court documents, you're doing the necessary things, getting them every other weekend, whatever. Even if, well, I'm gonna just say start at an early age. If that child is too young to really give details about what their needs are or what's going on, what they supposed to have, what, you have
Hmm.
to rely on communication with that mother or that
From
parent.
the
You do.
yes.
If she refused to communicate with that man, is he less than a father? Is he not fighting?
No,
No, not saying that.
it,
But
It's
see,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
it
But to my
sounds
go ahead.
like she's just a bitter baby mama.
mm-hmm,
Because a mother is still gonna take care, yet gonna allow the father to take care of his child.
mm-hmm,
That sounds like a bitter baby mama.
Okay, but let me ask you what you just said, Rose. You said that sound like a bit of baby mama, but what if she feel like she's the one? She's taking care of the children. She taking care when they are there.
mm-hmm.
90% of the time. She working 2 jobs.
Mhm.
She taking care of the children. So how does that take her? Because she's bitter, but she's a bitter baby mama now from being a mother, as in taking care of her children, like she do. She
Because
work.
she's making excuses. She's making excuses for him to not see
Yeah,
the kids. What
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
excuses she have for that man? Well, for the father not to see his kids.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right, right.
Yeah.
I don't care
And
if she
that,
worked 3 jobs. That don't give her the right to keep the kids away from the father. She chose to
Mm-hmm.
work. She chose that life.
Yeah.
yeah, right,
Because y'all wasn't able to be together. That doesn't have anything to do with the kids. The kids are innocent.
Exactly.
right, right.
Yeah.
And
And a
see,
lot of
that's
people do that. A lot of women do that. They don't work through their feelings or their emotions, and in their mind, they feel like they're hurting the father by keeping the children away. But you're not hurting the father. You're hurting those kids, and you're
Yes.
creating mental health issues within those kids because those kids can grow up having daddy issues, even mama issues
right,
if the shoe was on the other foot, if the man has the kids, because in their mind, they're feeling like that parent does not love them when that's not even the
right,
case because they don't know what's going on
Mhm.
behind closed doors. Because then you also have those parents who try to play victim and they want to make sure the kids know or feel like their dad or their mom wasn't a good parent. And
right,
Yeah.
yeah, that might not be the case. And I tried to make sure when me and my ex-husband separated, I didn't do that. Like even during that tumultuous time when we separated and couldn't communicate anything, I didn't keep his kids from him. I dropped them off at his parents so he could see them for the weekend. I communicated through his mom, and that's how we did that until he could be more calm and rational. And then after that,
Mhm.
when we went to court, I put in our divorce decree. He gets them every first and third weekend, and he can get them 2 days out of the week after school. Just have to have them home, by 7 o'clock so they can get ready. Because I didn't want that relationship to be damaged. And then as time
right,
has gone on, he gets them and he sees them whenever he wants. I've always kept him in the loop with every single situation. He's just in a different home. Like we still parent together, we still discipline together and rear them together. But it did take, yeah,
Mhm.
a couple years to get there.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I definitely feel that a lot of people out there uh need to understand this type of situation and know the difference. Because see, a man can always be labeled as just a baby daddy, all because of a personal vendetta against him, not
Mm-hmm.
because he's not taking care of the child, but it's all
Mhm.
because of your opinion about him, regardless of how your relationship was with. And that's something I've always looked at with anybody, woman, man, whatever. When it comes to that child, regardless of what relationship or what type of relationship you guys had,
Mm-hmm.
it should not reflect on the relationship between that child and that parent. It should not reflect that. It should not come to a point where you feel like, okay, since we had a bad relationship, I'm going to treat the situation, with your child just like that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it just makes it that much more toxic. I mean, I'm talking bad about the parent. uh, I'm talking bad about the parent to the kid, trying to tarnish, his or her, image to the
Mhm.
kid. And, and then you even have the kids that are, even if they listen to this, next thing you know, that's just, they'll be calling their own parent a sperm donor. I mean, I've heard these things before. I've heard kids
Mhm.
even say this about their own parents that, my dad wasn't nothing but a sperm donor, this and that. Where are they getting this from?
Mhm.
So I mean, so it's really, really deep, man. I think and I think it's a lot of miserable individuals that
Yes.
that make this what it is like that, because
Mhm.
they're it's just miserable,
It's
and
either you're
so
gonna be with them or you can't be with the children, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. The children, the relationship with their parents should come
yeah,
precedent over
it
those
is
two
like
parents' relationship.
Yeah, that's right. But you got bitter baby daddies too.
You sure do.
You
oh
know, it's
yeah,
yeah, it's only because they don't want to see the this. I mean, it's vice versa. When they don't want to see the woman move on, they, neglect the kids. And when they do get the click kids, the only questions they're asking is, what your mom. The questions are about the mother, like
Yeah.
what your mom doing or who been over, stuff like that. It's just stuff
Mhm.
like that. Shouldn't we as parents shouldn't do? We shouldn't question the kids about the mother or the father. If that's something the mother and father wants to relate, they can talk to them themselves. But
right.
yeah,
Mhm.
you have bitter baby daddies too.
And see, I've seen this. That is so true. And you have some of your baby daddies that he is willing to take care of that child as long as he have access to that woman.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he don't have access to that woman, it ain't necessarily got to be with her, but long as he can call her or sleep with her or just have access to talk to her, he feel like, okay, I'm good. I take care of the child. But when it cuts off, then all of a sudden it becomes a problem with taking care of the child as well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not
And
gonna
see,
meet you this weekend because your mom trying to go out. She trying to be with that dude, that N word, that all of it.
yeah,
Yes, all of it.
and you do have better, baby daddies that are. I mean, I'm talking about literally willing to just let just turn their rights over and let it go, just to not have to deal with it no more. All because they cannot be with that woman because it ain't about the child; it's about that woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, and that's just the way it is, man. That's
Mhm. It
just the
all
way it
boils down
is.
to control. If they can't control the situation, they don't want to deal with it at all.
And that's it, man.
Mhm.
That's it. I like I said, I had a situation even with myself where I had my personal situation with one of my kids that, to your point, Shantia, I did what I had to do. I took mine to court.
Mhm.
And I'm like, but then when you got somebody standing up there saying, well, Your Honor, what can I do because he ain't taking care of his kids? I know the judge probably sitting there looking like, how can you say this about a man that brought you to court? you
Right.
know, I
He's
mean,
trying to take care of his.
this man is trying, he brought you to court.
Mhm.
So I mean, and I've experienced a little bit of that, and it just baffles me, when people try to, you know, um, deprive you of being a father, but yet want to say that you
Yeah.
ain't taking care of your responsibility,
Right.
you know. So and that's just with me, I mean, because I ain't never wanted to be labeled like, what you both said. I never wanted to be labeled, that's my baby daddy. No. No,
Lord.
no, no.
But as long as you know who you are, TJ, it don't matter. People gonna label you. They're gonna call you, names that you're not. But as
Oh
long
yeah,
as you know who you are, it doesn't matter.
I'm telling you, and that's one thing I've never really allowed to bother me, per se as a person, because I know, even how I deal with all of my children. That I
Mhm.
have a strong love for my children, in general. So when a man deal with stuff like that, man, they already know how they love their children. They know what they're trying to do for their children, but yet you then gotta overcome this mountain of BS where people trying to, you know, just kill your image, not only to people around
Mhm.
you, but even your own children.
Yeah.
Even to
Yeah.
your own children.
Hmm.
So I mean, so that and one thing I do hate is when you know what? Let me ask you guys this. I'm not even gonna let me ask you this. I'm gonna make it a
Okay.
question. And this is kind of going into slightly another topic to feed off of this topic because I think we've said a lot to address baby mama issues, baby mama drama, all this and that. So when you're dealing with the baby mama issues, baby daddy issues, do you think it's fair to the child or the parent for that parent that have sole custody to disclose personal relationship issues with that child that was between that parent that's not there and themselves? Do you think it should be disclosed to that child?
No, and that's something I made sure didn't take place within my household. I guarded my kids with, me and my ex were going through the motions. That's not for them. That's not for them. They don't need to know
Exactly.
anything about the ins and outs of our disagreements or our arguments. Um, Even where there was occasions where, you know how sometimes you can be around your ex and one is antagonizing the other. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say nothing. I just stand there. I'm gonna let you do your thing, and then when I'm done, when you're done, I'll go on about my business because I believe silence hurts them more than anything you could say.
Right,
So,
right,
nah, I don't like stuff like that. They need to be able to make their own perception up about about their parents. It shouldn't be nothing tainted. Mm-mm.
right, right. Rosa, what you think?
That's right. I agree with her. Like kids should just be kids. Kids shouldn't even be put in an adult. That's like a adult situation. Kids shouldn't be put in stuff like that. They should even be around the parents when they're discussing like divorce and other stuff that's happened in the relationship. Like kids shouldn't like if I'm talking or venting to one of my friends, I don't even vent in the house. I stay in the car so the kids are not able to hear me. Like kids shouldn't know nothing. I mean, between the father and the mother, the only thing kids should know is that's my father, that's my mother, and they both love me. They don't need
Right,
to hear no drama. I mean, just nothing else.
Mm.
But that's my father and that's my mother, and both of them love me and take care of me. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
right, right. And see, that's what I think too, man, because I feel like any parent, either it be the father or the mother, that does that to a child, I feel at that point what they're trying to do is win that child over to only one side
Yeah,
and
Mm-hmm.
make that child
Pit
pick
each other.
sides at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And see, and sadly, you have children that fall for that and really get and they're tied up in it.
They really do. And then you have
And
those
so
parents who try to make the child believe that the other parent don't love them because they're not buying them stuff. That's not love.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That is not
Yes.
love. Just because your
Right.
parent bought you some clothes and some shoes, that's not
Right.
love. It's spending time with them and caring about their
Yes.
day and what they have going on and making sure that they're growing up healthy and happy. Not
Right.
and a lot of kids have that perception that my parent don't love me. He ain't bought me nothing or she ain't bought me nothing. And what? No. Materialistic possessions is not love.
That's right, man.
Mhm.
Because I knew it was one point in my life, man. I went through a down spiral, man. And see, I can speak from experience, man. And then you got individuals that try to make it look like all because you didn't buy a certain brand of type of stuff, or you got it from Walmart, or you got it from even Family Dollars. See, the
Mm-hmm.
whole perception that we give our children's determines how they look at that parent. I mean, instead of even if
Mhm.
it come from Dollar Tree, if that parent say, "Well, your mom bought you this, and you ought to tell your mom thank you," they will embrace that in love. But if
Mm-hmm.
you sit up there, your mom or your dad know not shouldn't have bought you this from them, and you putting that seed in that child like that. That's the perception they
Mhm.
gonna have of that parent. Like, you didn't buy me nothing, you bought me this. And see, that's the way this gonna make it harder on that whoever the parent is that's trying to do the best they can, that's
Mm-hmm.
trying to
Yeah.
make sure that child is taken care of. And like myself, you know, when we came up, we had both parents. I've never had to deal with split parents. I've never had to deal with it. Mom and dad been together, 54 years now. So I've never experienced that. But going through it, even with mom and dad being together, we have to deal with things with, not always having new stuff, having to deal with hand-me-downs, having to get, stuff that, come from a yard sale and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not make us love our mom or dad any less. And
Yeah.
so when we take it over to our children, and we might say, well, I can't afford to get this, but I seen a yard sale. Well, I was able to get this, or I was able to get this from somebody else on, I'll just say Facebook, on, say for instance, when people, how they what's that, well, on Facebook where they sell different stuff,
Marketplace.
marketplace.
Marketplace,
Yeah,
Mothers of Us.
yeah,
They got
stuff
different
like
stuff.
that. And people have deals where nearly brand new stuff, but all because someone else owned it before you bought it from the store, after they done bought it from the store. Now it's a problem. You don't give my child this because it doesn't matter if the child can wear it and it keeps them looking nice. That's what that child should understand, not
Mm-hmm.
about a
Mhm.
tag or you sitting up trying to make it look like you should have had this. I'm quite sure if they could afford the brand new things and the best things, they would have did that. But but
Mhm.
that's where that bitterness of the baby mama and baby daddy drama and nightmares kick in, because
Mm-hmm.
they just steady trying to make that, build that, that wall between that child that's in the home and the outside parent,
Yeah.
because they
Mhm.
always trying to find something to say to discredit the outside parent. And so, I mean, it's miserable. It's a tough situation, man. It's a very tough situation, man. And it's sad for the children.
It is because they don't realize that everything that they're showing them, they're teaching them they're teaching them how they're going to respond when they get
Yeah.
older. If that child does not have
Mhm.
balance in their life and they don't have, other relatives, maybe an aunt and uncle, and they see them coexist better and actually communicate and the kids, or if they don't get to see that part, they can't learn what not to do. All they're doing
Right.
is learning what to do so that when they get older, they think it's normal.
Right.
So they
Right.
end up doing the same things instead of being able to see, or experience a more well adjusted uh, family dynamic relationship so that they can, in turn, do something opposite. And then if they're in
Right.
an environment where their community is like that as well, they begin to believe that's normal.
Right, right,
My
right.
neighbor's family, they separated like that too, and they operate like that too. So they think that's life. That's what it's gonna be. And I think that's another reason a lot of people have gone away from marriage. Honestly, yeah, because they
Mm,
have a horrible baby mama. They have a horrible baby mama, baby daddy situation, and so they feel like in their head, they make it up in their head that all relationships are gonna be like that, and it's not.
right, right, right.
Mm-mm.
That's, it is what it is. Well, let me ask you this, dear man, as we wind this thing down. What would you say, either one of y'all, and whoever want to go first can go first. What would you say
Okay.
to a um a single mom, or I just say a mother, or a father that's dealing with, I'll just say parent that's dealing with these type of issues? What would either one of you guys say to encourage that person or give them some advice how to deal with this type of issue?
And it really, I could just say stay prayed up, because at this point, I like, I can encourage that person, but at the same time, if the child is, just say if the child is older now, he or she older, they are the seed that the mother or the father, I mean, whoever planted the seed that the other outside parent is a bad parent, that seed has already been planted. But as a father and a mother, if you're doing your job as a father and mother, that child will eventually like come around. She'll see it, he or she'll see it for themselves. Like the mother or the father can say what they want, like they can plant those bad seeds. But as the child get older, they start making the choices of if they want to deal with the parents or not. But my thing is to the parent that's going through that, I mean, you just gotta stay prayed up and just pray for that child as well. Just pray for their child and the mother, because at this point I don't know. It's just really a tough situation. I mean, because I can say, give encouraging words, but when that stuff is actually going on with the person, it's
Mhm.
hard to deal with it. It is really hard to deal with it.
Right,
Mhm.
right, right.
I would have to say the same thing. Pray for the relationship that you would want to have with
Mhm.
um, the other parent. Pray for that child um, that child is growing, mentally okay, and pray for the strength of your relationship. But there's little things that you can do to counteract. For example, if the mother consistently says something bad about the father, when it's a little kid, little kids are just pure honesty. They're pure honesty. They can't
Hmm.
help but tell you what was
Right,
said. And
right,
so that parent needs to make sure when that negativity is brought to him or her, they need to correct it. And hey, I don't know why your mom or dad said that. I don't know where that came from.
Mhm.
But what I will tell you is the opposite of what that parent said. Like, don't feed into it by saying she said what? Well, your mama, your daddy, like, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
right, right,
Diffuse the situation, because then you're gonna teach that child not to repeat or believe everything that they're told. Because
right,
then that
right,
other parent can back up what they're saying by their actions and the things that they other things that they say, and then they won't have this negative image in their mind where they feel like their mom and dad constantly bash and put down each other. And so,
right.
like,
Yeah.
a personal story as far as mine, growing up, my mom and dad were together off and on probably until I got to 21. But by the time I got 18 years old, I told both my mom and dad, I'm not dealing with it anymore. You're not gonna say nothing negative to me about my daddy, and I'm not gonna say nothing, and you're not gonna say nothing negative to me about my mom. That was y'all's relationship. I didn't have nothing to do with that. And I love both of y'all, and I have different relationships with both of y'all, but y'all not gonna keep bringing me y'all's issues, especially when they would break
Right.
up, get back together. I got one in one ear saying this one. No, when I felt like I was 18 and I could stand a little taller and I was grown, I told them I'm not listening to that no more. And that was a
Right.
rule that I set, and they have respected it. They have
Right.
respected it. Um, Now they have a better relationship. They laugh and joke and stuff like that with each other. But yeah, I had to check them a couple of times.
Right.
Hey, what's the agreement? No, and they would stop. But yeah, it's gonna have to be that other parent doing the
Say,
opposite of what one
um,
parent do.
I would say myself, and we got someone that just popped up in here. Uh, y'all see who done
What's up,
came in the door.
folks? Jimmy
Yeah,
Dunn in the
yeah,
house. Jimmy Dunn in the
yeah,
house.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
You came in just in enough time to open the door for us to walk out. That's what you did. Welcome in. We're glad that you were still able to make it in though.
I was
Um,
having some technical difficulties tonight.
got
Okay.
you, got you,
You
got you.
excuse Jimmy Dunn?
We
Excuse,
excuse Jimmy
excuse you.
Dine.
yeah.
We
Jimmy
excuse Jimmy
Dunn?
Dine. But before I give my last thought on that, let's get Miss Jimmy Dunn opinion on some things right quick. Real quick, Miss Jimmy Dunn. First of all, we're glad to have you. Thank you for being able to make it in,
Yeah.
when you were able to make it. So congratulations on getting over your issues and making it on cross to the other side. But real quick, we were just discussing about baby mama and baby daddy nightmares and drama and such things as that. Uh, in your own words, um, tell us, how do you feel, or what's the difference between baby mamas and baby mothers?
Woo, that's a good one.
Mhm.
Well, the way the verbiage and the language is used, baby mama, is, I guess, if you're not married, or you know you just got a boyfriend or fiance or whatever the case might be. um, I also think that baby mama has a lot to do with age, maybe, to a certain extent.
Okay.
And I begin to wonder, is there, it's more of a slang terminology to me, baby mamas versus a baby mother.
Now let me ask you this, okay? Because the other two ladies has gave their perspective, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just trying to allow you to fill in since you was late being able to come in. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so let me ask you this: do you think a baby mama um, responsibility is less than a baby mother? Do you think a baby mother takes care of her children, or responsibilities more than a baby mama?
I think that depends on the individual. Also, think that depends on age. Um, you have some baby mamas that are young but still care for their children just like a baby mother would. And again, I'm looking at the age factor. A mother that, let's just say, she might be, had a child at between 38 and 40. She's a little bit older. She's a little bit more mature. Um, Whereas versus someone that's 19, 20, 21, they still, they still probably, hopping from club to club and want, grandmama to take care of the baby. Uh,
Mhm.
uh,
Right.
it's just really based on an individual basis, based on age, based on how you were raised. Now, I'll say this: you got some moms or grandmoms that will say, "You made your bed, you lie in it."
Mhm.
and you're gonna raise that child. And I think that is I think that's a good lesson, because that teaches that young lady, she don't want to go, continue to go through that,
Right.
raising baby after baby after baby. So
Right.
then you got, some mothers that have, and again, I'm using the term mother. If you notice, you have some mothers that just know that their child, their daughter, is not
Right.
capable of taking care of that child, and so they're going to come into play as and portray themselves as the mama, or rather, not even portray. They're going to be the mother for that child, because
Right.
it just really depends on maturity of the of the young lady. And then you got some that they're so mature that they're going to take care of their children themselves. The mama won't have to tell them, I'm not going to be keeping your child or keeping your baby.
Right. And that
So,
is just a good point. I mean, that really is what you just said is definitely a valid point. Because see, the maturity level speaks volume, and it really determines if if she's a baby mama or a baby mother. Because see, like you do have some of the young ones knowing that they have to step up to the plate, and they're forced to be a mother. I
right,
mean,
right,
because they don't have nobody else they can rely on.
right.
Versus, the young ones just have baby after baby after baby, and they don't care. They just, they got somebody they can throw the baby on. Like, to some of the other ladies' points, they have babysitters. They take the baby to the babysitter, or, while they're able to run out in the street and still do what they want to do. But then you got some young ones that's, they're all about their child. They
Yeah,
don't want to leave their child with nobody. They want to take care of them.
Mhm.
But it's sad to say, but you have older ones in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 30s that do the same exact thing. They still
Mhm.
want to throw their babies on everybody else, or quick to put their kids on anybody else while they run the street.
Mhm.
And they still hadn't yet got the concept of being a mother. They don't want to be, a mother, but they'll be quick to say, don't mess with my child, or that's my child. But yet you don't want to, do the necessary things to be what a real mother or father, is. And just like a father, you can't even stay out of jail long enough to help raise your children. But yet you want to say that's my child. You can't even stay out the street long enough to help raise your children, your son. But yet you want to say that's my son. I mean, and it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy.
I
So,
want
Miss Dunn,
to point out something. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Um, you can say mother as far as being the biological mother, but again, it's the responsibility that you take on, that you don't take on. I guess that's this is really a good question, because a mother is a biological mother. She had the baby, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to take care of the baby. So we have to
Right.
understand, where did baby mama originate from? And then another thing I wanted to mention is, why I would like for you all to respond to, why do you all think that they have baby after baby after baby? What is the reason behind that?
Ooh, child.
And
Wow.
I'm not speaking of lack of birth control. Why?
Yeah.
Other than that, because we already know that
That's
that's normal,
yeah.
Customary, whatever.
I'm
You
just gonna
know
say
what?
they're just not
Let, oh, oh,
responsible enough.
oh. Let's save that one. That's a total different topic, and it's a good one, because I want something else to run into that. And if
I
we
know
stay
what you
on
want
it,
to run into that.
it
The
uh,
system. The
no,
system.
I don't want the
Yeah.
system to run into it. That ain't what I wanted to run into. Actually, that kind of coincide with something me and Janetta just talked about yesterday, that she
Okay.
said was a good topic. So, because see, if we get into this deep like this, we'll be on win another hour on that conversation. So, but real quick, make sure you remember that what you just ask that question you just asked. Write it down, or just make sure you
Well,
remember
I
that.
wanted to tell my answer.
Save your answer, Chantel. Save your answer, please. It's gonna
I'm
be
one
good
of
for the next.
four. I'm one of four people.
Look,
I'm one of four people.
Go ahead, go
Chantel.
ahead.
Uh,
Look,
uh,
Makes the
I think
conversation interesting.
I
yes,
ain't
because
finna let
it's
her do it.
because it's
Uh, uh, no. I had to mute her. I muted you, Chantel. I muted you.
what we doing.
Chantel. We gotta
Oh,
say that. We gotta say that. We gotta say that for
that's
some
what we
good
doing.
content.
It's
Yeah,
the
I had to. You,
audacity for me.
hey, you was ready for that one. I need you to hold that one for me. I need you to hold that one. I think that's brewing. And fellas, everybody that's watching this right now, you guys see what you need to come back and watch on the next episode, because we will be bringing some more good content and good topics to this stage, man. As you all can see, I'm in the corner. Y'all see what I'm cornered in with. So I'm trying to handle it though. I'm trying. Hey, she look at her. That's my girl. Now look at her, Chantel. She throwing them hands at me now, y'all.
Nah, my boy was right there.
uh, uh,
No.
but Miss Jimmy Dunn,
Yeah.
what advice would you give to some of the parents, either be fathers or mothers, that's dealing with baby with issues dealing with children that can't seem to get along, or trying to um, talk about the one parent to the next, trying to hinder the relationship, all because of bitterness. What would you say to encourage someone that may be listening to this? What would you say to them to encourage them if they're going through something like this?
Um, when you're going through difficulties, when it boils down to relationships or marriages, both parties are going to be um, maybe somewhat distraught, unfocused, bitter, angry, all of those. Just any adjective you want to call out that falls up under, you trying to go one way and he trying to go one way. One of the things that I have learned personally is that it's best not to talk about the other parent in a negative manner. If you can hold your peace, just don't talk about the other parent, especially around your child. And even if it's joint custody or whatever the case might be, which was my situation, I don't even think it's best that you even, when the child is at the dad's house, he shouldn't be talking about the mother. And when the child is at the mother's
Right.
house, she shouldn't be talking about the dad. You want to keep that amicable. You just want to try to keep as much as peace as possible, because you don't know what this child is going through psychologically.
Right.
So I think that's very important.
How did you handle the communication piece?
How do I handle the communication piece?
Yeah, well, not necessarily communicating with the father, but like communicating with the child when he had his half a week or his or her week with the other parent.
Okay, how did I communicate? Well, my son had a cell phone, so I can communicate with him via cell phone, texting, whatever the case might be. If I needed to speak with his, dad about a certain situation, and then I would, conversate with him. I'll say this, and I'm probably fixing to open a can of worms. It seems or tends to be that men are much more bitter when and angry and try to be ruthless and whatever. But if you're dealing with a strong Black woman, you better go and run in the woods somewhere.
Okay, guys, we do appreciate Miss Jimmy Dunn
Oh,
for
we're not
giving her
done.
her advice. And you know what? You know what? You know what? To be honest with you, y'all, and everybody, all our listeners out there that's listening and may watch this video as well, this podcast. Um, I mean, in which that's her outlook on things with that, and you cannot tell a person how to look at how to have their perspective when that's what they experience.
Mhm.
And see if that's what if that's the way they experienced it, that's the perspective that they have. So and see, but it goes both ways with men and women, in which if men had to deal with bitter women, I'm quite sure you have your men to say women are the most bitter women at times. So it's just all about who goes through what who goes through what. But from my perspective, to encourage, someone that may be going through these issues, um, I agree with everybody on the panel. It's very important that we respect that other parent. Someone has to be the stand-up person. Someone
Yeah,
has to be the more mature, respectable person when it
has to be
comes
the
to
bigger person. Yeah.
because it's very important for you to help that child understand what me and your mom had has nothing to do with the love I have for you.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
What
yes.
me and your mom had, that does not make me hate your mom, because believe it or not, I encourage you, whoever's listening, the way you treat and the way you act toward that mom can determine how that child, no matter how much that child love you, but it can alter that child's behavior towards you because of the love they have for that parent. So if you're
Yes.
sitting up and you're trying to talk about that parent to that child, if that child loves you to death, you could cause issues because that child feel I'm having to pack all this in to hear you talk about my mom or my dad. And now you wonder why they're lashing out at you because you're saying these things, and now they're standing against it. So I encourage you not to talk about that parent. Whatever you have to say to that parent, keep it to yourself or talk to them about it, but
I
not the
want to
child.
interject before I forget what I have to say. So, excuse me. Also, that can be an adverse effect with the child. Let's just say you just gave the example of, let's just say, whatever, the father talks about the mother, right? And this child is hearing this stuff on a constant basis. It can be an adverse effect where this child, give it some years down the road, you're thinking, what did I do? What did I do wrong? I've done everything possible that I can do. Then the child reverts on the father. They really had no opportunity to speak up out of respect for the father, right?
Right,
They couldn't say, I don't want to hear that, this, that, and the other. So
right,
down the road, once they're mature enough, they're going to open up, adverse effect, and say what they got to say. I really never wanted to hear that about my mama.
right, right,
So
right, right,
it can go both ways.
right.
And
That's
then
so
the
right.
dad sitting around looking crazy.
Right, right. And that goes both ways, guys. So I definitely encourage you, and I know a lot of you probably don't want to hear it, but pray for each other, man. Pray for that mother, pray for that father,
Yeah.
because those are issues that you can't fix, that only God can fix. So and if anything, try to be cordial with one another. Try to, not saying you have to be the best of friends, but try to be cordial for the children, for that child, because see, as long as that child see that mom and dad is respectful toward each other, that helps that child to grow up in a better way as well, and it also helps mold his personality,
Yeah.
because it's going to reflect on him even in his relationship, his or her relationship.
Yes.
It can reflect on that as well. So we have to be
Right.
mindful of that. So with that being said, guys, we want to let everyone know that we appreciate you guys for tuning in to in the Den podcast, episode 4, man. And we appreciate everybody on the panel for coming in tonight. And we ask that you do tune in to our next episode, which will be an awesome topic that we'll be talking about, probably pretty much continuing a slightness of this type of conversation. And I know a lot of people, is interested in this baby mama type of issue, baby daddy issue. So a lot of people have a lot of things to say when it comes to that. So, but anyway, guys, we appreciate everybody for joining in. Make sure you don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. In the Den podcast is where it is. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your grandma, tell your uncle, tell your pastor, and all. Tell them all. So
that's why they keep having them. They searching for love.
You know what?
We don't. And I got a few more.
You know what? I had to mute again, y'all. I had to mute again. But anyway, guys, what's up?
May I say one thing? We want to pray a lot for these men out here that can't handle, when they're going through things. We all need to pray for them, that they understand that we care. But sometimes you just gotta say, yes, ma'am.
I had to mute her too. I had to mute her. But when she said yes, ma'am,
yes, ma'am,
I had to mute her. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all tune in for the next episode. On episode 5, you don't want to miss it. We're saying so long to you guys, man. Y'all have a good one, man. Make sure you don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are out of here. Peace. Bye.